Welcome back to our channel, dear viewers. Today we're going to take a deep dive into the world of narcissists by exploring 9 different types of this complex personality disorder. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to follow our future video content. The classic narcissist often creates an attractive facade of confidence that masks deep-seated insecurities. Their need for constant adoration may manifest through seeking praise, compliments, or specific privileges. Within them, however, often lies a fragile ego that is sensitive to any criticism or lack of positive response. These individuals often exaggerate their own successes, minimizing the contributions of others. Their grandiose self-esteem often results in a sense of superiority, which can lead them to be insensitive to other people's needs and feelings. A lack of empathy makes them challenging partners, colleagues or friends, as they have difficulty understanding or appreciating the perspectives of others. In interpersonal relationships, the classic narcissist often seeks relationships that will provide them with constant admiration. However, these relationships often remain superficial, because it is difficult to achieve a deep connection with a person who is always focused on his own reflection. Through his actions, the classic narcissist tries to maintain the illusion of his own perfection, avoiding facing his own insecurities. It is important to note that the classic narcissist can change and develop over time. Therapeutic support and self-awareness can help people with this tendency to recognize their behavior patterns and develop a healthier relationship with themselves and others. Through understanding these characteristics, we can better recognize and understand the classic narcissist in our environment. A vulnerable narcissist. A vulnerable narcissist often carries the burden of low self-esteem, contrary to the outward impression of self-confidence they are trying to create. This inner insecurity may stem from some early trauma or lack of support in childhood. When faced with criticism or failure, a vulnerable narcissist's reaction can be intense. Anger and anxiety often serve as defense mechanisms to try to cope with an inner feeling of inferiority. Instead of facing their own shortcomings, the vulnerable narcissist may redirect that pain onto others or inwardly on themselves. This internal struggle can be difficult not only for them but also for the people around them. In relationships, a vulnerable narcissist may seek constant validation and encouragement to bolster their self-esteem. However, this demand for attention can become a challenge for others, as a vulnerable narcissist can be very sensitive to any sign of rejection or nonconformity with their own expectations. Understanding a vulnerable narcissist requires compassion and empathy. In many cases, therapeutic support can help them explore the roots of their insecurities and develop a healthier relationship with themselves. Given that these narcissists are not always aware of their inner challenges, support from the environment can be essential for their personal growth. Social narcissist. A social narcissist is like a virtuoso in social situations, shining in society, often leaving a strong impression of his charisma. Their ability to attract attention makes them often very popular in society. However, beneath that facade, a deep connection with others may be lacking. These narcissists often build surface relationships, where they are the center of attention, but these relationships often remain on the surface. Deep emotional relationships and intimacy can change them, as they lack true empathy and commitment. A social narcissist may use their attractiveness to satisfy their own need for admiration, often without considering the needs or feelings of others. It is important to understand that a social narcissist is not necessarily a bad person, but their self-centeredness can affect the quality of their relationships with others. Sometimes, this type of narcissist can be very successful in a professional environment, but their tendency to put their own needs before others can create challenges in personal relationships. Developing deeper connections and understanding the importance of interpersonal connection can be key to the social narcissist's personal growth. Therapeutic support can help them develop empathy and build sustainable relationships with the people around them. Omnipotent narcissus. An omnipotent narcissist sees the world as a stage where he or she is the main protagonist, above all the rules and restrictions that apply to others. Their thirst for power and control exceeds the usual limits. They fantasize about their own power and importance, often creating grandiose images of their own importance. These narcissists gravitate towards the top of the hierarchy, be it business spheres, social circles, or family relationships. Their desire for control can result in manipulating situations to achieve their own goals, often without caring about the consequences for others. Feeling that they are above the rules can lead them to risk taking on unnecessary challenges or making decisions that do not take reality into account. An omnipotent narcissist can often show little understanding of other people's perspectives, as their focus on their own power can overshadow empathy for others. When faced with failure or criticism, the reaction may be anger or a refusal to admit one's mistakes. Developing awareness of the consequences of one's actions and understanding the need to cooperate with others can help the omnipotent narcissist find a balance between his ambitions and maintaining healthy relationships with the environment. Therapeutic support can be useful in the process of self-understanding and changing destructive behavior patterns. Evil narcissus. A malevolent narcissist is a specific type that stands out for its tendency towards malevolent or aggressive actions towards others in order to satisfy their own needs. These narcissists often use manipulation, deception, or even physical aggression to achieve their goals or reinforce their sense of superiority. This type of narcissist may use a variety of tactics, including gossiping, humiliating, or creating conflict to achieve their goals. These actions usually stem from their need to dominate and control others. In addition, the malignant narcissist often shows a lack of empathy for other people's suffering, focusing solely on their own wants and needs. In interpersonal relationships, this type of narcissist can create a hostile environment, often manipulating or exploiting other people. Their aggressiveness can result in long-lasting emotional scars for those exposed to their behavior. Understanding a malignant narcissist requires awareness of their destructive behavior patterns. Therapeutic support can help them understand the roots of their aggression and work to develop alternative, positive strategies for meeting their needs. Paranoid narcissist. A paranoid narcissist is a type of narcissistic personality who tends to constantly assume that other people are always against him. Their perception of the world is characterized by a constant fear of conspiracy, and they are always looking for threats in the environment. Even innocent situations or the words of others can be interpreted as a threat to one's own safety or reputation. This type of narcissist often has a strong tendency to be suspicious of others, creating their own reality in which they are constantly on guard. Their paranoid nature can result in problems in interpersonal relationships, as it makes it difficult to build trust. Other people may feel constant pressure to prove their honesty and loyalty, which can be extremely draining. A paranoid narcissist often interprets even well-intentioned advice or constructive criticism as a threat. This constant defensive attitude can make it difficult to cooperate with others and communicate openly. Also, this type of narcissist can be prone to social isolation because they find it difficult to establish deep and authentic relationships. Therapeutic support can be useful for the paranoid narcissist to confront the roots of their suspicious beliefs and develop strategies for building healthier relationships with their environment. Developing trust in other people and creating a more realistic perspective on others are key steps to personal growth. Machiavellian narcissus. The Machiavellian narcissist represents an intriguing type of narcissistic personality that excels through a combination of grandiose ambitions and sophisticated manipulation to achieve their goals. This type of narcissist often has a tactical approach to life, where goals are above moral limitations. Characteristic of the Machiavellian narcissist is resourcefulness in using various strategies to achieve their desires, regardless of the consequences for other people. Manipulation and a pragmatic approach often form the basis of their behavior. These narcissists can display an impressive ability to persuade, form alliances, or even covert schemes to achieve their own goals. This type of narcissist often places their own ascendancy and power above ethical norms, using cunning and deception to achieve their desired outcome. Their ability to manipulate can be a challenge to others, especially those who are unaware of their ulterior motives. It is important to note that the Machiavellian narcissist is not always a negative figure. Their strategic thinking skills can be useful in certain professional settings. However, it is important to understand the limits of ethical behavior and recognize when manipulation crosses into unacceptable patterns. Understanding the motivations of a Machiavellian narcissist and setting clear boundaries in relationships can be key to maintaining healthy interactions. Sensitive narcissist. The sensitive narcissist represents a unique variation of the narcissistic personality that is characterized by a marked sensitivity to criticism and often hypersensitive reactions to failure or unfavorable comments. This type of narcissist tends to perceive their own worth through the eyes of others, and are therefore particularly sensitive to external evaluations. When exposed to criticism, a sensitive narcissist may react with strong emotional responses, including sadness, anger, or feelings of hurt. Their vulnerability may stem from fear of rejection or loss of support from others, which often results in a need for constant validation and admiration. This type of narcissist can hardly handle failure or unpleasant situations, and the responses to such situations are often emotionally intense. Sometimes they may develop defense mechanisms such as denying their own mistakes or shifting responsibility to others in order to preserve their fragile ego. A sensitive narcissist may have challenges maintaining healthy relationships with others, as his constant seeking of validation and sensitivity to criticism can create tension in interpersonal interactions. Understanding and compassion from loved ones can be essential to build emotional resilience and support their self-confidence. Explosive narcissists. An explosive narcissist is a specific type of narcissistic personality characterized by an abrupt and unpredictable reaction to stressful situations, often spiraling out of control when he perceives a threat to his own ego. This type of narcissist may display explosive behavior that includes intense anger, aggression, or even destructive actions to protect their own ego. In stressful times, an explosive narcissist may react with uncontrolled rage, and that reaction is often out of proportion to the challenge that prompted them. This type of narcissist can have a low tolerance for frustration, often perceiving even less threatening situations as serious attacks on their own personality. Their explosiveness can create unpleasant circumstances in relationships with others, and people around them can feel insecure or even intimidated by their reactions. Sometimes, an explosive narcissist may later regret his behavior, but in the moment of rage, control over emotions often slips away. Therapeutic support can be crucial for an explosive narcissist to learn to manage stress, develop coping strategies, and understand the deeper causes of their emotional reactivity. It is also important to work on developing empathy towards others in order to build healthier relationships and reduce the damage caused by their explosive behavior. Remember, these types of narcissists are not black and white categories, but often overlap, making them challenging to identify. People rarely fall exclusively into one of these categories, so it's important to keep in mind that individuals may display the characteristics of different types of narcissists in different situations or stages of life. Understanding the variety of narcissistic traits helps us better recognize and interpret the behavior of people around us. It is also important to note that people have the potential for change and personal growth, even if they exhibit certain narcissistic traits. Therapeutic support can be crucial in helping people recognize their own patterns of behavior and develop healthier strategies for interpersonal relationships. Let us know in the comments if you've recognized any of these traits in your environment, or if you have any questions or topics you'd like us to explore in future videos. Thank you for watching, dear viewers, and see you in the next research video.